Hi, welcome to Lunch Break Live. Today, we're going to start a series on your personal growth. And remember, I said last week that this year we're going to be focusing on your personal growth. And one of the things that people struggle with when it comes to their personal growth is consistency. In other words, consistently doing things that will help them to grow as individuals in their personal lives and in their career. And I think the challenge with consistency is that people expect that they would always be motivated because what they're doing is for them. In other words, what you're doing to grow is for your own benefit. So you expect that you will be motivated all the time. But the truth of the matter is, you are not going to be motivated all the time. You are not going to feel like doing whatever you have to do to be better than you were yesterday. You're not going to feel like going to the gym if you want to lose weight. You're not going to feel like coming on live if you have to show up like this, like me. You're not going to always feel like doing what you have to do to grow. But what you need to understand is that yes, motivation can get you started, like I tried to do for you last week, encourage you to grow and put in the work and be deliberate and intentional. Motivation will definitely get you started, but what keeps you going is discipline. So for you to be consistent with your growth, you have to have discipline. Discipline is that ingredient that you must consistently have. You must climb the bridge of discipline every day to achieve consistency. And it is when you climb the bridge of discipline to achieve consistency that you would see the growth that you desire. And I read a very interesting article today on the Chinese bamboo. Interesting story, very interesting. So they say that the Chinese bamboo grows in 5 years, right? The Chinese bamboo grows in 5 years. But in those 5 years, it spends the best part of the 5 years without sprouting. In other words, you will not see anything. So, the seedling is planted, and for 5 years, the farmer keeps watering and weeding the plants, but it does not see sprouts. 5 years, not 5 days, not 5 weeks, not 5 months, 5 years. The farmer does not see sprouts. So, imagine if that was you and you were doing stuff to grow, you were improving your skills, you were upskilling, you were doing things, and you do not see anything to show. How do you stay consistent for that period of time? How do you continue to do what you have to do to grow the way you want to grow? And that's what the farmer does. The farmer keeps watering the plant. The farmer keeps weeding the plant for 5 years. 5 years without seeing anything. 5 years without seeing any form of movement. Like the plant does not even sprout in 5 years. Guess what happens in the fifth year? The plant grows 9 feet. 9 feet in 5 weeks. So the plant doesn't sprout for 5 years, and then in the fifth year, it sprouts 9 feet in 5 weeks. When you say accelerated growth, that's what I call accelerated growth. So something doesn't show any sign of growth in 5 years, and then in the fifth year, it grows 9 feet in 5 weeks. That's like 1 week for every year, right? So it's the same way. It's the same way. So just imagine if the farmer stopped watering the plants because he did not see any sprouts in the first year, or he stopped watering the plant because he did not see any sprout in the second year, or even in the third year, or even in the fourth year. Just imagine what happens. I understand that the plant will die. It will not sprout at all. So you have to climb the bridge of discipline. The bridge of discipline to stay consistent. It is discipline that makes the farmer keep watering the plant, even though it does not see any sprouts. I mean, the sproutless plant is enough demotivation. Like if it was me, I probably would have stopped at some point, you know. But the farmer keeps watering. He keeps watering the plant. He keeps watering the plant day in, day out. He keeps watering the plant. And it's the same thing for your growth. You have to be consistent with watering yourself. You have to keep watering your growth. You have to keep pouring water. You have to keep investing in yourself. Yes, you might not see the result immediately. That doesn't mean you should stop. And that's why, they say that there is no overnight success. Every overnight success has been working for many years. So it's like that Chinese bamboo that sprouted 9 feet in 5 weeks. So, when you probably have not heard about somebody before, and then, you just suddenly start hearing about the person suddenly goes viral. You say the person has blown. No, the person didn't just blow. The person has been working on the ground. The person has been watering something for so long, nobody noticed. Even the person did not realize they were growing. So, you need to apply consistency to whatever growth strategy that you have decided to apply this year. So if you have decided to read books, you have to be consistent. If you have decided to take on trainings and webinars, you have to be consistent. If you have decided to sign up on a coaching program, you have to be consistent. You have to be consistent. And to stay consistent, yes, you might have been motivated to do it in the beginning. To stay consistent, you have to introduce discipline, because it is discipline that helps you to stay consistent. Motivation will wear out. You might not even be inspired anymore. I mean, what inspires somebody to keep watering a plant that does not sprout, that does not even show you that, all the water is drinking is doing something? So, discipline is that thing that you need to introduce into the mix. So when you start any growth plan this year, right? So for instance, if you get my personal growth plan workbook, you will see the steps. But even when you have the plan, when you start, you're excited, you are motivated to, start implementing the plan, and then, motivation will wear out. You might not feel inspired at some point. You might, life might happen to you. What you need to introduce at that point is discipline, so that you would be consistent with whatever that plan is, so that you will be consistent with whatever habit you have had to adopt to achieve that goal that you have set for yourself. So guys, you need to introduce discipline into the mix. Yes, motivation gets you started, but discipline is what keeps you consistent with the plan. Discipline is what makes you stick with the plan. Discipline is what makes the farmer to continue to water that bamboo plant, even though he did not see it sprout for 5 years. And what did he get at the end of 5 years? He got a 9-foot plant in 5 weeks. And that's the same thing that will happen. When you consistently invest in your growth, when you consistently climb the bridge of discipline to implement whatever growth plan you have created for yourself this year, you would just suddenly see the growth. I mean, you might not, everything would accumulate together. I'm sure the bamboo plant that did not sprout in 5 years was growing. It was growing, but it was growing underneath the ground. It was, spreading out its roots. I understand it was just growing underneath the ground, spreading out its roots, getting strength from the ground, because how do you just sprout 9 feet? How do you just sprout 9 feet in 5 weeks? That means you have solid base. So all that 5 years, the bamboo plant is creating a solid base for itself. So it's the same thing you're doing. So when you are growing and it feels like you are not making any form of progress externally, you are growing your base. Your base is getting stronger. You are creating the appropriate foundation for the growth that is going to come forth. So when you suddenly blow, it's not going to be because you haven't been doing anything. It's not going to be like some form of magic. It's going to be the result, the accumulation of all the work that you have done over time. So, like I said earlier, when you start getting demotivated or you lose inspiration on your growth journey this year, one ingredient that you need to add is discipline. Add discipline into the mix and you will be just fine, right? So please get my personal growth plan workbook. Click the link in my bio, you get it. And if you do need some help, accountability, holding of the hands with the plan, sign up for my speed coaching program. The link is in my bio. And I will be glad to hold your hand through the process. Remember, the farmer continued to water the plants, even though he did not see a sprout. So if you need that help to be disciplined, to stay disciplined, to keep watering yourself, to keep implementing the plan, I'm the girl for you. So sign up for my speed coaching program and I will be glad to help you. Have a beautiful rest of the day. Bye for now.